for DailyJoule. So, unlike the Minecraft mod stuff, I've not touched this at all since the stream 2 weeks ago. So, I think the last thing I did notice on this, I did see one thing after the stream, which was that the pull request for the changes had for this bug fix had some issues. 4 tests failed to render. So that's something in our storybook tests failing. Let's see. So this is issue 270. There we go. Let's see if we can run Storybook. Let's see what's going on with that. At some point, so I seem to recall that there's some stuff broken with Storybook that needs to be fixed at some point. Because I do enjoy being able to like know that, I mean, I guess stuff has been working in a sense, like the automation test stuff we've done had been working. But like the top level pages have been broken for a while now. Right? Theme stuff doesn't seem to want to work. Like you can definitely drill down into like the stories on the components, and those seem to work. So what is it says fix component errors to continue over here in chromatic component error. So consumption, so we can at least use this to figure out what components we want to look at to figure out what's gone wrong. So consumption add is broken. So consumption add. Reloading. Okay. Container is undefined. It's interesting. So organisms consumption line 95. And let me know, I think this text size should be okay in VS Code, but let me know. I could probably make it a little bit bigger. Line 95 is nothing. Okay, where are we using container? Here is where we're defining it. Container is undefined. So if this was undefined, we would be getting container sizes of 0, but somehow container sizes is empty. That makes sense. If we're gonna have a fallback here, this needs to like contain at least one entry. Or we just need to fail out. Yeah, so I think that's what we should do here, right? So we should say, yeah, so we should have the type error here, right? So if container size, if food.container sizes, and in fact, I don't know that we need to like alias that. There we go. I think that's better. It's possibly undefined is true. True statement. We don't have any hooks past this, right? This is not a hook. Okay, so we can just be like if food.container sizes is undefined. That's the concern, right? Yeah. Or if its length is 0, which shouldn't happen. Like, we should have stuff in the back end that prevents that from happening. There we go. We'll just throw an error. Food.container size is possibly undefined. So okay, and this is why we would want an alias. So that, yeah, because this can't be undefined because we have this guard here, and that means when we're looking inside of the scope of this function that's closing over container sizes, Typescript can infer that this is still not possibly undefined. So that should fix this. Yeah, food has no container sizes is because of our story for this component doesn't have the right data. So, right, our food item here that we're passing in to add does not have a container size value. Will Copilot create some data for us? Nope. No, that's not a thing either. Serving size, true. Size 1. Alright. Cool. Now that makes 1 gram. Okay, so that's... I don't think we need the label. Yeah, so not... Unable to find an element with the text 1G. Okay. I mean, the text 1G does appear inside of it. Can this take a regex? Get by text? I don't know. Get by text. ID matcher. Alright, let's look at that matcher type. Okay, it can be a regex. So maybe then we can do... Okay, so that one works now, but then this one also needs to have that regex. Right. So what else is wrong here? Is there supposed to be something where it selects a different value? No, it's supposed to be selecting 1 gram. 3, oh. There you go. So this is good. This is just pointing out our inconsistent behavior. Right, because this says 300, but... Oh, that's fine now. Okay. So, alright. The next issue is the onDone. event was called with. So serving ID should be 1. Right. So the storybook issue is some kind of inconsistency when we like have it refresh, when we make it change. Like if we do a hard refresh, I'm just hitting like Control R, then it all works. Okay, so what other issues were reported by Chromatic? Also an edit and empty data and an edit consumption. So let's look at edit consumption. That's down here in pages. Of course, the docs page is broken. There we go. So food has no container sizes. This is going to be the same thing, right? That we changed the behavior both in the front end and the back end, and now the stories are feeding data that's not compatible with the code changes. So it's a good thing. So when we generate, like when we are mocking the tRPC calls via mock service worker, here, the food retrieval should also be including the container sizes. There we go. And so this is Copilot basically copying and pasting what we just did in the other file over here, and now this loads, so that's good. And I think the edits and empty data, well, maybe empty data has. There we go. All right, so if we go back to the empty data story for the consumption organism, that all seems good. So let's fix, what did we change in consumption at TSX? Okay, add error handling in consumption organism. So we'll commit that by itself, and then we'll fix consumption related stories to handle to provide container sizes. So that was the change 2 weeks ago, right? There was the not small change to make it so that instead of trying to calculate different potential sizes of like serving or just a gram or whatever, require that when we import the data from Open Food Facts or wherever else, that data is put into the database, and we are then providing that to the front end. So when the front end asks for information about a food item, we're providing the available container sizes. So that's being displayed here to be selected as like your serving size. And then you can put in the number of servings you want. So that we then have kind of consistency of data between front end and back end. Because before, the front end was like sending like -1 or -2 as special IDs to signal that, oh, we're using kind of, I guess, implied container sizes or something. It was not ideal, I think, and especially in retrospect. So many tabs. So this will hopefully all work now, and we'll auto merge. So what else are we doing today for DailyJoule? I could also get it running here locally. There we go. If I had Docker running. Yes. I called you back. I summoned you. I said the magic word. Docker. Oh yeah, I should add that to the, I'll add that as a tag to the stream. All right, so Docker compose. Let's see if this works now. I didn't have Docker running, Docker desktop running, so that didn't work before, but hopefully now. Localhost 3000. You've been playing around with Google Docs extensions? See, you're looking to see if there's anything good? It's something I know nothing about. Alright, so here's DailyJoule again. Just running locally. I've actually started using the production version of the app, which I'm not going to share, but that does exist, and I have been using it a little bit. Although, while I was in Poland, I basically was not tracking any calories. I was just like, I'll eat what I want to and enjoy just a bit of a vacation embedded inside of the business trip. You have an idea of something which would be interesting to add to your setup and would benefit both of us. As I also need to see how to do the setup. Observability. For example, elk. Elk as in this triggering in memory. Isn't that a programming language? It's elk stack. No. Yes? Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. I have heard of this. I've not set that combination of things up. Oh yeah, definitely. So in the past, I've used Datadog and done application tracing in addition to logging through Datadog, and I've also used AWS X-Ray for tracing. Yes, I've seen how traces work. And between like automated, like the automation annotation stuff you get, and then also manually doing annotations around critical areas that aren't automatically annotated, and including like additional information, it can be very powerful. Datadog and Sumo Logic. I've not used Sumo Logic. I've used... So the startup I was working at a number of years ago, we were switching to Datadog from... well, not really from. I guess we were still using New Relic as well. I still have one of their Data Nerd t-shirts. One of their swag items from New Relic. All right, so we got a couple of local hosts there. Right, so waiting for Chromatic to finish. But yeah, we could do something with. Is there so Elasticsearch, Kibana, and what was the L again? I've already forgotten. Hold on. Logstash. Okay. You're between Loki and Logstash. Well, I've not. I feel like I don't recall having used either one of those. What does Logstash do? Collect, parse, and transform logs, apparently. from Elastic. Okay. I see. Okay, so this is a way to ingest data. It says it right there. Into Elasticsearch or something else. Yeah. Well, it's all about what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go and how long it's going to take to get where you want to go. I don't know. There's always lots of factors in any kind of evaluation. Yeah, plug and play. I don't know. I guess another question is, what's the cost of switching between one and the other? Like, is it possible? Is it equally easy to switch from one to the other, or vice versa? That might also be a consideration. All right, so the same non-change here because of our animation thing with the button. It picks that up as a change. We should probably do something about that. I say we, but I. So this has changed quite a bit. It is different. What is supposed to be rendered here? Ooh. I see. I think it's because I changed the container sizes, so the thing that says one serving. Huh. I'm just going to accept it. It's my fault, whatever happened. Like, there's a rationale for why it's the 1 gram version now, so I'm just going to accept it. That is a good question, which I don't have an answer for. My guess would be yes. Well, there's an agent listening for the data. It should take care of everything else. Do you have a portainer? I have a portainer for my LAN, I think. Do I even want to show that on stream? Hold on one second. Let's see. Bookmarks. One of these is the portainer. No, that's Node-RED. Hey, portainer. It's been a while since I looked at you. Is this safe to show on stream? There's no actual IP addresses. I have internal domain name stuff. Yeah, it's out of date. Yeah, so here. Just the Docker Compose, basically. I have used portainer. Here's the evidence of me standing it up once for my LAN, because I have a bunch of internal things like Node-RED, as I mentioned before, and then also a Pi-hole and some other stuff. Ooh, I have 20 containers. Yeah. So some stuff. Node-RED, Pi-hole, portainer, Nginx proxy, dynamic DNS, Home Assistant, stuff like that. Anyway. All right, so PR is merged, so we can finally leave this branch. All right, we're doing rebase merging, rebase-based merging for this project. So we keep all of the individual commits. That's right. I guess we could cut a release. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what? v 0.4.3. Risky depending on which branch. Main. Let's take a look. So what happened? We it says it did a merge commit. No, it said merge commit into main. View details. Nope. Yeah, auto merge rebase. So yeah, it does. But it's so this would be the feature branch, the branch that I'm working in, that it gets rebased based on what's in main, which that only nominally happens when we're about to merge the branch anyway. So it's basically dead. There won't be any feature commits or anyone else pushing commits because we delete the branch. We being GitHub. Can we generate release notes? Yeah. I mean, even if there were multiple people working on this, if the branch is getting merged, that means it's dead anyway. Like, if hopefully no one else is trying to push commits to a branch that's being merged. Like, it should be done. And if anyone does, then they're SOL anyway. They need to create a new pull request. You just do that locally and push force? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of risky. It feels risky anyway. Like, am I actually going to push something besides the branch that I intend? Am I going to force push over main or develop or something? Alright, so this is what's changed since the last release. So we added the cron job action and GitHub Actions for the Let's Encrypt cert. I mean, that's already... This stuff is merged to main, right? So this has been done and in place. Yeah, well, yeah, it should be non-pushable. Yeah. The issue is the typically... Well, not typically anymore, but I've definitely been in a lot of circumstances where my account has admin rights, which may override those restrictions, which is sometimes necessary. But honestly, it should be something where those permissions are temporarily granted and then pulled back. It's been a lot of Git repos over the years. Yeah. Push directly to master one of the commits. Yeah, that. I feel like I might have done that before. Add environment and update time for scheduled job. Pull current Docker images part restarting. Serving number missing on initial load. Fix the issue with container size selection. So that's the thing we just wrapped up. I'm going to publish that release. So this is 0.4.3. Is it semantic versioning? I don't know. But that should auto deploy. All right. So there we go. Nothing in progress. That's great. We have some bugs. It doesn't look like semantic versioning. Well, let's think about that for just a minute. So, major, minor, and patch. They are sort of bug fixes. Well, let's see. So there was one sort of feature, which was the Let's Encrypt scheduling thing. Maybe that should be a minor version change then. Maybe we should be on 0.5.0 then. The rest were bug fixes. I'll have to just keep that in mind for next time. So do we have a releases page here. So like one feature and then bug fixes. Yeah, that's a good breakdown, I think. Major, minor, and patch. Yes. One of the things that is on the backlog for this project somewhere is having like a publicly documented. I mean, this is not even public, right? I mean, it's out on the internet, but you have to be on a whitelist to be able to log into it. But, you know, thinking of things that I would want if this was a full like commercial application, and being a user of it myself would be like a publicly documented API to like integrate it to like Home Assistant and Node-RED and other stuff is a thing I would want. And part of the reason I want to move away from, and in fact have basically at this point given up on MyFitnessPal. Which just encourages me to like want to fix these bugs. So one that I have definitely noticed is I can probably just demo this. So if we add to breakfast, actually if I just use quick add, I think, yeah, this is a quick add bug, right? So we have a 0 here, right? So like if we land on this page, it'd be cool if I had like things set up to like demo this on my phone in a way that we could see, but let's see, let's do this. Can we how do we set the mobile view settings? Like the responsive design mode. Oh, it's up here at the top. Yeah. So I don't think my phone's on here. Looks like we go up to S20 Ultra. Okay, well, we'll take that. I feel like that's not what it actually looks like. Anyway, doesn't matter. So if you put in 10, or sorry, if you hit this page and you tap this and you put in 1, you get 10. This revealed a couple of issues. So one thing is if you do this, you want to put 900 kilocalories in, well, you get 9,000. And also there's a comma here, and that also breaks things. So that's 2 bugs that are the things that we're going to work on. So it would be nice if when you go into the field, like when you enter the field, so leave responsive mode, right? So if we like tab into also that, yeah. So I think if you click into the field, it should do the same thing as what it does if I tab into it, where it selects the text. So I can just enter 1. So that's the first thing. So many tabs. Someday I'm gonna get to like looking at this capacitor stuff. Yes. Probably that is correct. Click should clear the field. I don't know. I don't know about clearing the field though, because that might become annoying. Although also selecting the text when you enter the field can be problematic too. If you want to edit the field value, you have to click twice, right? Because you have to remove the selection to be able to change the value. So unfortunately, there's not a one size fits all thing, I feel, for that, but we can start with a thing. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna move this over here and quick add basic. So we have interaction tests, so we're just gonna add another interaction test for this. All right, so this is inside of a page. And we have the story there as well. What's this warning? Interaction should be awaited. I think there was actually a quick fix there. There we go. Are you happy now? No, because you can't. Interaction should be awaited, but you can't. Like this. Right. Do we actually need to wait for then? Okay. Right. This is. But the get by label text. I mean, you think so, right? That could be asynchronous. But it doesn't look like that. It is. T extends HTML element, so not a promise. So here's a question. Why isn't this just this? And then also, this is almost the same as this. Well, like, why does this not have a warning, but this does? See if the variable can be awaited. No, it's HTML element. And we're not awaiting it here. Like, we're doing the same thing, except not. I think the reason this isn't getting a warning... So these used to be errors, by the way. I disabled that because I made them into warnings. Because it doesn't seem to do anything. Also, that change broke the test. So... I don't know what's up with this ESLint rule from Storybook, but it's wrong. Okay, so hey, look, there's a to-do. I think this was something that got broken at some point that I just never put back. But what we want to test here is, like, when we click into this, the text is selected. Now, I don't know. Probably the easiest thing to do is... let's see. So what are we doing here? Oh yeah, so we clear. So what we want to do actually is just change this interaction test to not clear. In fact, we can, let's see, user event dot click. That's what we're doing, right? IRL, we're clicking the field, and then Except somehow it... Click the cancel button. Navigate. So that's interesting, right? So if you click that and you type in 100, it does that. But when the interaction test does it, seems like a nice testing framework. Yeah, so this is the this is Storybook interaction tests. So basically, like, for quite a while, I never did anything with these play methods. So this is just like, you can give it like, ignore all this stuff. You can just give it a component, like a React component or other things I think it supports, and it just shows you like the component. And then you can potentially give it arguments that get passed in as props to the component and to have it do things. And so that's how I used Storybook for quite a while on couple of different projects. But with this, I'm doing a couple more things. So one, I have some custom stuff here to control the React router. And I have some stuff here with a mock service worker plugin to actually have a component that interacts with the backend, except there's no backend running. Instead, I mean, there is one running, but it's not talking to it. All of the network requests that are being made by this component are being mocked at the network layer in a service worker in the browser. So you have a component here that works just as if it was on a website talking to the backend, but it's not. And then on top of that, you have this play method, which you can then simulate user interactions with. And then you can do things like check to see the state of the UI. You might even be able to, I don't think I've tried doing this, but you might even be able to like introspect on the mock service worker to see like API calls and stuff. I'm not sure if you'd want to though, versus just like observable behavior in the UI. I'm not sure if that would be a good idea, honestly. So like we're clicking the input. So this is the get by label text kilocalories, right? So that's the label. This is the field. We should be clicking into this, I guess. Oh, that's fun. Depending on where it actually clicks, the cursor could be in one place or the other, and maybe that's what's happening. So what can we do with click? There are options. A lot of options. So this is coming from testing library. So maybe some Googling is in order. Testing library, click input. Cursor location. So here's a question from 11 months ago. No answers. Ooh, selection target. Pointer actions can alter the selection in the document. In the browser, every pointer position corresponds with the DOM position. Asl character. And no, what does it mean? Is there pointer state? System. What does it mean? Nope, not doing all that. Okay. Pointer? Okay, needs a pointer input and options. What is a pointer input? Okay, we have a target. And we have an offset of what if it's 1? So what does that do? Okay, can you, let's refresh. Can we, okay, so what about an offset of 0? Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. What I really want to do is I want the cursor to be to the left of the 0. So we should see that. Well, that behavior is interesting because that's not what we see in practice. What if we don't have an offset here? Okay. Back to the docs. If you provide offset, we assume the pointer position to be the closest to the offset th character of target.text content. Okay, target elements. Elements is this thing. Pointer action. Pressing a button or touching the screen. Okay, user event is the thing that we're actually using. Okay, what version? Whatever is being shipped with Storybook testing library, I guess. Let's see. So user event 14. Okay, good. User interactions, pointer. So we have the same thing talking about offset again. What if we just did 0? So that just does not behave in a way that represents what actually happens. Yeah, that's the behavior we saw before. But that's the behavior we actually see. Is there... Maybe there's something in the options here that changes... Initial selection, end, and start is interesting. Skip click, skip auto close. Okay, so does the type also handle the click? Interesting. Maybe the issue is the behavior of the test does not simulate what's actually happening. maybe we should use something other than type. So keyboard. Right, so fire event dispatches DOM events. User event simulates full interactions. So it does multiple things. So like this type is is doing multiple things. Potentially one of those things is like clearing let's see. So there's a delay. What does that do? Okay, that's interesting. Can we skip auto close, pointer state, pointer map, pointer events check, auto modify, apply accept? What about initial selection, start and end? Yeah, okay, there we go. So that's the behavior that shows up, sort of. Except interesting. To modify, what do you do? Okay. What does auto apply do? Or apply accept? Something to do with upload. Okay, don't care about that. Right, to keyboard, clipboard. Okay, no, I don't know then. So that's interesting. That behavior is also interesting, right? So like we type in 100 and it formats. So something this is doing is not actually simulating things the way, like it's not the same interaction. So why? See that? We don't want to do that. That's not simulating what the user does, right? So we wouldn't want to do that. Doesn't seem right. Hover, tab, triple click, unhover, upload, deselect options. What does that do? Okay. Oh, right. So it deselects options. Got it. Okay. Keyboard. about and then target? I think that might be it, but nope. Introduction. Setup. Oh, I see. Okay. So click the kilocalories input. Put some of the stuff back here that we had before. Were there options here? I don't know. Let's leave that as that though, and then we await user event.keyboard. What does that look like? Okay, so what was the code that we had before? The stuff. I suspect those aren't. Maybe nope. Those are not options there. Whoops. So that's interesting. Can we control where the cursor clicks? Pointer. Yeah, by using pointer. What is... Okay, there we go. Keys. Interesting. Touch A. Touch the screen at element 1. That could be interesting. And then it doesn't take that second argument, it takes a target. Okay. Interesting. Did nothing. Press the left mouse button, or release the left mouse button. Okay, so what we want to do is we want that. So the greater than sign, I mean we can move the touch pointer to element 2. Okay, so this allows you to simulate like clicking and dragging, or touching and dragging, which is pretty cool. But I don't think we want to do that here. Okay, so that did something. Can we control offset? So when did that become 0? Aha! Alright. Now we actually see the behavior. Now we can fix the bug. As soon as we show that the test fails. Right, so probably what we want to do is we want to let's add a new step. Check that adding inserting 10. Yep, that. take this bit, create a new step. And then what we want to check that the value is 100. And that fails. Why? Wait, user event at keyboard 100. And then wait for... What am I missing? Action should be awaited. So it says, but that's not valid. Unexpected await of a non-promise. What am I missing? There. So I think the first issue is these should not be async. If they are not async. Okay, so yeah, I think there's a separate bug there in terms of the hot load. But as long as we like do a full refresh and run through the story, then we see that this fails. Whew. All right, now just to fix it. And I think the answer to how to fix it is, I guess change the behavior of unit input. So unit input. Let's dive down into this. So this is an input. Input is our custom input component, which is really not, because it's just a wrapper around form control, input label, and the material UI. All this stuff is material UI, but the material UI input. So, MUI input. Is there a thing that we can, like a prop that we can pass it to tell it to auto-select its contents when we enter it? There's an on focus. A use form control hook is exposed. Oh, maybe on form control? Let's search for form control. Variant, full width focused, disabled component, classes children. Nope. This hook returns the context value of the parent form control component, which is a bit awkward, the way this component is set up. I mean, we could extract this to do that. Those are interesting things, though. Could we... Brilliant. Actually, I really dislike that. I mean, this should just be a bunch of props. Okay, let's do this a different way. Can we take this? Oh, it has label ID too. Do we use label ID? Yeah, we use both of those places. I really don't like it. Okay, so function, enter input. All right. And then a bunch of stuff we don't need here. And a thing that we do need, which is label ID. And then we'll take this label ID, which is a string. Some key there, I'm not sure what. Okay. And then, yeah, okay. So then we swap out right. And then just pass in all the things, right? Lost the cursor for a second. Oh, I see. Why does hitting tab there? That's very odd. Yeah. It needs a label and value. Okay. Okay, I've lost the ability to use tab. Interesting. Okay, tab works there. Great. Value is missing. Yep. All right, so that should be at least compatible. So that should see the same result, but it is there, so that's good. Not gone backwards. Right, so now we should be able to... I'm suspecting that I'm going to have to close and reopen VS Code to fix this, whatever's gone wrong with tab. Or... yeah, I don't know. Right, but... use form control is what I wanted to try to do. So value equals, not value, call it form control equals use form control. So this returns the context value of the parent form control component. So then we can say form control. Nope. Form control dot on focus. Great. I mean, I guess that would be something, but what we actually want to do is we want to set this to, let's see, what is the definition here? Focus event handler of T. Focus event T. Okay, so there should be an event. I should be able to look at the event target. Yep, that one. Maybe. Nope. Should be like a select something, right? Nope. I mean, target should be... div elements, huh? Not sure about that. Let's do this. Console.log on focus event. Yep. Now what's this complaining about? Yeah, shouldn't be optional. It's possibly undefined though. If form control. All right, see what that does. Let's pop out that. So there we go. Console. So we have an on focus, a bunch of other things too. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So we get the error about the the thing that happened in the interaction test, but so we have an on focus that happens, and we have a target, and the target is the actual input, so that's good. So theoretically, so I think the issue is maybe the event doesn't know that. Like it's I think it's this HTML div element. Focus event, but of a HTML input element. I promise. Focus event is not generic. Well, interesting. It seemed to think that it was. Event focus event is not assignable to type focus event handler. Ah. So why is on focus? Okay, it's a focus event handler of type T. Does use form control have a generic? Nope. Why? Extends, pick, form control props. Okay, interesting. Target. Current target. Let's try that. Okay, so we have an input here. Let's store as a global variable. We have just like an underscore. What is it? How does that work? Storing it as a global variable? I don't even remember. Nope, doesn't matter. Let's just do the thing I was thinking of doing. So HTML input elements methods. Yeah, there's a select, yeah? So just trust me. Nope. Do that. I don't care that you think it's not right. Nope, I didn't mean that. Oh yeah, I have no tab for some reason. Okay. And then, of course, all right, it passes somehow. Nope, it's 0 now. Oh, and no, that's fine. It's fine because it's the second interaction test, right? So if we rerun the first one, there, it's good. And then the second one checks the clear button, and so that's why it goes back to 0. Okay, so that fixed the bug. Woo! That was a lot. Okay, so the second issue, it has to do with entering values. Look at that. That's nice. maybe. So I don't think there's anything wrong with showing commas here. The issue is that what we do with the value. Like this is fine. The issue is that at some point we need to not have the commas there. Now I think maybe ideally we just keep the value separate. I mean, perhaps. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on here, right? So we have united input, and we have raw value as a state, which can be a string or null, and we have some stuff here that we can ignore for a moment, maybe forever, and then yeah, we can ignore that too. And then we have a formatter, and we have handle change. So whenever there's a change, that raw value gets set, and then we attempt to parse the value, and then if it's parsable, then we can pass on the value to onChange. Yeah. So I guess the question would be, well, I think a couple things. One is, does this test belong in quick add? So we have a united input thing here. Maybe we should move this test to be there, because it's really a test about that UI component rather than how we're building quick add out of it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go over to here, and we're going to find the unit input.stories.tsx, and we're going to add some interaction tests here. Interesting. I don't know what a container is, but that's fine. There we go. And we have to import all the things. Nope, not like that. Nope. Okay. Well, you don't know where step comes from? Me neither. It used to be in here. Oh, it's an argument to play. Okay, got it. This element, there we go. Okay, and this is wrong because the label is wrong. Yep. And that works. Okay, so we want another test step. I don't know, the verbiage here is kind of weird because generally I would think of like each individual thing here as being a test step in other contexts. But what other things are passed into play? Hooks, subcomponents, component, view mode, title, tags, parameters, lots of things, but step is the thing that we're using here to kind of separate out the groups of things to test. So we want to test that entering 9999 results in no commas in the value passed to onChange. So we're gonna 9999 that, and then check that the value is 9999. Somehow. That value passed to on change is that. Oh yeah, I have no tab. Okay, so how do we check the on change? How is this supposed to work? So handle change. On change. I mean, it should be a number, right? So that should always be the case that it's doesn't have commas in it. Yet I know for a fact that this causes problems. Let's actually look at this locally, right? So if I add 9999, click add. Aha! Right, the issue is not on the back end. Probably good to actually double check of what the actual issue is. The issue is that please match the requested format. So it's our input validation. Doesn't support commas. So I still think here we can still do this. Value is, just do this for now. And so we'll do this. And so it's going to be interesting though, because that is interesting. Let's refresh. So it should have entered 4 9s, but we lost the 9 somehow. That's interesting. What's up with that? Can we go back? Can we go forward? Interesting. A little concerned about the inconsistency of behavior. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Wait. So we already know we don't. No, the wait for is fine. What's the problem here? So this should have clicked into there. Oh, we don't have. Huh. Do we? I guess we don't. Oh, right. So in this test, we're not actually blurring the field. So it doesn't gain focus again when it gets to this test. Okay, so that's. Let's see, wait, user event dot tab. Okay. But it didn't enter, so it has everything selected. Okay. Maybe this will be fine now. Let's also do the same thing here. And refresh. Yay! Alright, so that we see the behavior is being simulated. Although we don't have an issue because it thinks this is fine, and it's going to think it's fine until, yeah. So please match the requested format. So how can we detect that that is an issue? I mean, it's interesting. Aria invalid is false. Can we see? We have different classes here, but we don't have. Show DOM properties. Make a little bit more room here. So we have this input, and it. How do we tell that it has this issue that the regex pattern is going to reject the input as invalid? Validity. Now, is that actually... Hey, look, valid false. So, expect... Nope. Expect kilocalories input dot validity. Yep, that. Yeah, I know it's not an HTML. Look. Why can't you just know that this is an HTML input element? All right. And then same thing, we need to refresh it. And this should fail. Yeah, because false is not true. Right. Good. I mean, not good, but it reproduces the issue at hand, which is that our pattern is not great. It's got problems. So basically right now we have a really overspecified pattern here. We're basically trying to represent the idea of, okay, you don't have leading zeros and numbers, or you can have a leading zero if it follows, it's like a single digit followed by a decimal point, which this is an internationalization issue anyway. Maybe this could be simpler. This could be way simpler. This could be 0 through 9, comma, dot. Let's see, I don't think we need to escape dots if they're in a character class. And we can just do 0 or more of them. And then we don't need the grouping either. There. And everything's fine. Now, granted, this can allow us to enter some, well, not really even weird things, because you can't enter 0, 1. It just turns into 1. Why? Oh, do we have a max? What's going on with this input? required energy includes reset option. So why can't I 11111? Okay, why can't I enter 11,000? Good news, we have a new bug. Also, our description of the step is wrong. All right, so this should be 99,999. Yay, we have a failing test case. Love it. All right, so what's gone wrong here? So let's pop this out again. And see if we can find the code that we are testing. Let's see. Components, atoms. So I think it's unit input that's doing the kind of the processing of the values. So let's put a breakpoint there. Let's imagine if we were to go in here and add another 9. Okay, so S is a very interesting looking 9,9999. And then, so we tried to make this work in here by replacing any commas with the empty string. But that doesn't seem to work because, so S, why is value undefined? Okay, value 2 here is the actual value. Maybe that's fine. Okay. So if, okay, let's see if we get into that. We do. Okay, so it's not an AN. It's 99,999. And then we call onChange. We call unconvert unit type value. So that all seems fine. Why? What's the issue here? So raw value. If there's a raw value, we format. No, if there's not a raw value, we run initial value through format, and that's input value. What is what's happening to? So we set raw value. I see. I think probably what we need to do is we need to replace the commas. Again, a big internationalization flag. But I think we need to replace the commas or the group separators from the input string before we call set raw value. I think that is the issue. One thing I'm gonna do is kind of a, let's see here. Right, no tab. Tab does not seem to want to work. still. Number separator. Ooh. Does that actually work? Interesting. We can try it. So const clean s equals s dot replace all. Yep, replace all the number separators with empty string. And then we pass that, and then we also pass that to parse float. And maybe, just maybe, if we refresh, this will just work and not break something else. Oh, it broke something else. Well, no, it didn't fix the issue, unfortunately. Oops. Okay. So let's take a look at what actually happens here if we rerun this again. Okay, so we have a 1. We have a 10. What on earth is happening there? I feel like the running this in the debugger is changing the behavior a bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay, why? What happens if we do this manually? 99999. So we can do that. All right. We eventually have some rounding, perhaps, but it works. It just works, except for the fact that the test doesn't think so. Oh, because we failed to write the test right? And by we, I mean I, of course. Yeah. Yeah. And then yay. All right, so that fixed 2 bugs that I knew about and even more that didn't. And we're at the end of the time that I've allocated for streaming for today. So fixes number 269 as well. Cool. Okay, I don't know what it... Interesting. More bug fixes. Alright, so... I think the next stream, the next coding stream is what I'm referring to, of course, next week, the plan is going to be, I think we're going to take a pause on the Minecraft mod stuff, till there's a little bit more inspiration for kind of what to do next. We could do some Rust stuff first thing. I have this project. I have many projects, but a linear assignment Rust that someone opened an issue on. And there's some other stuff that we could potentially do as well. So next week, it April 4th. It's been a little while. Work on that project. And then the second half of the stream can come back to working on bug fixes for DailyJoule, because there are many. And I would like it to work, considering the fact that I am now trying to use it daily. Hence the name. So we'll see if this actually is merged by then. Alright. So that's going to be it for the stream for today. It's time for some lunch. So thanks for hanging out, watching, listening, all that. More modded Minecraft tomorrow. Back to Create Astral. Try to remember what we're all doing. Something about Mars? I don't know. But that'll be tomorrow evening. Alright. So thanks once again. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.